Welcome, Tech for Senior live today. Wow, this is December the 30th.
Wow.
And we soon will be the next year. Welcome, everyone, for coming today to listen to the show. We have a great show for you today. If you are out there and you are listening, if you could put some comments in there, would like you to put your name and where you're from. Sally says she's from Kirkland, Washington, and it is 32 degrees. Yes, and Sally, we're going to be sending you some snow. It is snowing here, and they stopped mail service, and Vancouver Island is getting a big dump of snow. So we are sending it south. And so hang in there. So, yes, so put your name and where you're from in the chat. Otherwise, we don't know who's out there, and we could just be talking to ourselves all day, right? Oh, Chris Rosinski's here. Of course, he would say, not snowing in Mesa. Exactly.
I sure hope not.
Exactly. I'm sure we'll get lots of comments like that. Gerald Marsh says, good morning from Louisiana.
And I'm sure they don't have any snow either. So,
I think so. Just to remind everybody, Tom says Wisconsin, 27 degrees. Mike Ungerman from Central Florida. And Mike, you were going to get back to us on what's happening with CES and where we're going to go there. So you're going to send us more information about that. Dorothy was from Victoria, of course. Hey, Dorothy, we're sending you some snow, so we're sending it down there. Liz from Ohio, 41 degrees. Yes, indeed. Just let everyone know that we are, of course, Tech for Senior is, we broadcast this as a show on Monday. This is our live show in which we go back to, this is the live show in which we go back to look at news articles over the past week. But our regular show is on Monday morning, and you can, by going to www.techforsenior, you can certainly see that, register and see our show on Monday. Dick Vogel from Sanford, yes. Now, this, of course, is being broadcast through StreamYard, and it's going out to YouTube and to Facebook. So this is not a Zoom meeting. So all of you who are logging on to Zoom, our Zoom Monday meeting right now, expecting to see us, we're not there. We're over here. And so please click the link on our webpage that says, take you to the live show on Thursday. So do that, and we will we'll be happy to see you, because this is not a Zoom meeting. But you can put your comments, ask us questions. We're really happy to do that. Put your comments in the chat box and put the and be sure and ask us any questions. We're just going to sit here and yak all day, or for the next hour anyway, until we've finished. Now, the other new thing that's going to be happening in the new year, well, next week actually, for our next show, was it's going to as well be a podcast. So we're going to actually take this broadcast, and it's going to be reproduced, and we're going to have it out as a podcast, and it's going to come out on the Friday, one day later, and it will be a podcast on the Friday morning at the same time. It'll be exactly the same time. Sylvia Anderson from High Desert between Santa Fe and Albuquerque.
Yep.
There you go. That's and Bellevue 34, 1.5 inches of new snow. Yes. CES is still what? $150? I thought it was free. Mike. Yikes. Maybe we could get a group membership. I don't know. $150 for a virtual conference? Well, I don't know.
Never happened.
I don't think so. Yeah, so let me introduce everybody. You probably Steve says Jeff from Southern California. Let me introduce everybody. Maybe here we can just hold putting them up for a minute, and we'll just introduce everybody. as you all know, Huey Poplar, and he's the he of course Huey and I co-chair the show on Monday. Huey, how the heck are you doing?
I am doing wonderful. It's beautiful here, sunny in the high 70s now, going to go into the 80s for the next week or so. Then it's going to get cold, and we're going to get probably only in the 70s during the day.
Cold
for a week. So, oh yeah, it's beautiful here. I love it. It's paradise.
I liked your predictions. You had some good predictions for this coming year. On the Monday show, we gave all our predictions for next year. And actually, Huey had a pretty good record. Most of what he said from the prior year came true, right? So,
and I didn't play it safe either.
No, that's good. So yeah, you some interesting stuff. That's sort of cool. Then of course we have you all know Bob, our security expert, who is also on our show today. Thank you, Bob, for coming. And how the heck are you?
Still kicking. That's a great thing.
Did you have a good Christmas? Did you have a good Christmas?
Yeah, we did. Spend it with family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're so lucky to have family around. It's nice that you're able to do that. I have one of my family. One of our daughter lives in China. The other lives in Australia. So it's we certainly my new Facebook portal. We use it a lot. It's where. Did you get yours hooked up, Bob?
No, I haven't, but I haven't hooked it up yet. I need to get some more connections. I have no place left to plug it in. So
you don't have any HDMI ports left.
Well, I got an extender, but I have to hook all of that stuff up.
Yeah.
I used mine yesterday for a Zoom meeting. One of Robin's sisters needed to be here and couldn't make it for something that was going on with Robin. So we used the portal, and it was great.
Yeah.
Great big TV, and and all of us were in the room were on there, and she could hear us all.
Yeah, it works good. Ray, did you? And then of course, Plex expert and just an expert in that would be Ray Baxter.
Good morning.
Ray, how the heck are you doing?
Ron is freezing.
A little bit, yeah, in more ways than one.
Yeah. So how are you doing, Ray?
I'm doing good. We did something a little bit different this year. A lot of the family and friends that we wanted to see on around Christmas Day were obviously doing other things. So we had our first day after Christmas party, and made some nice things to eat, and we had people coming and going. So we probably had 15 people all in all, but never more than about 6 or 7 at one time. So it worked out really nice.
Very good. So Huey, just hold the comments for a minute, and then we'll look at them before we move on. But just hold them, because I have a couple of videos that I want to show you guys to and get your opinion on this. Okay. Now, let's have a look. We probably won't. Let's just come down here. And okay, the first one is, and this is actually based on Huey's prediction for this coming year, and I want you to have a look at this and see what you think. Now, this is the foldable. It's a triple fold out phone, and this is actually the patent for this. Although this is a Samsung video, it was in the news today, and Microsoft just put a patent on this, and this folds the phone out 3 times. As you can see, there's 3 screens. And I thought this was an interesting, and Huey had said in his prediction that he thought that the foldable screen would be certainly a thing that with great popularity this coming year. But what about folding it 3 times? What do you think about that?
Yeah, it said it's about 19 inches. I believe, was it 19? I think it said 19 inches, 369, or maybe it was a little less than that.
Yeah.
But when it folds up, it's going to be very thick in your pocket, but it'll fit in your pocket. It still fit in your pocket.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. I guess if in my environment, I I'm always around tablets or PCs or stuff that I have, so it's not a big issue. But I guess if you only had a phone, then it might be a problem.
Well, if you're on the road or you're traveling and you want to have something that's fairly good size, you could carry it around with you in the phone size and just open it up, and you'd have a nice tablet.
Yeah, interesting, eh? So life is going to change, and lots of interesting with foldable screens. Lots of interesting things happening.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
think
now-
it's foldable that actually folds in half. So for a guy, you can easily carry it in your pocket, and it takes up even less room than most of the standard phones today.
right. Okay, so let me show you the second. So guess what this is? This is my barbecue. This is my grill, my Blackstone grill on my deck this morning. And of course, you can see the snow on my Blackstone grill and the snow on the deck. So the topic today was going to be, of course, it's snowing like crazy here. So what am I going to do with all the snow and snowing, right? And to shovel snow. So here is the solution I want to play for you guys, and I want your opinion on this. All right. Now this is coming. It's a robotic snowblower, and it's called Snowbot. And this will shovel your snow without you having to go outside. This is a U.S. company. You can apply to be on their beta testing. But this is available now. I don't know what the price of it is. It does come with a remote as well, and it is chargeable, of course. And this will clear your snow. Particularly, remember Ray, I was telling you earlier about being up in Flagstaff a few years ago.
Yes.
That's the sort of dry, lots of snow that was up there, and this little gizmo would really blow the snow. I think that's so cool.
I give kudos to the guy or woman who thought of this. This is fantastic.
Yeah. Isn't that cool? I think that is so neat. That's the so this is available in the United States, and it is it's just Snowbot. Just Google Snowbot, and you will find the Snowbot, and the Snowbot. I guess it's the Snowbot, and it will shovel your walks. I think that's pretty darn cool, don't you? I think
Not gonna make much money in Florida.
no, it isn't. But I keep telling you guys. This summer, I'm going to get the one that does the lawnmower. I'm gonna have it doing my lawn. The robotic. There's a number of different ones, and some videos are going to come out about it too. But for sure, my new lawnmower is going to be a robotic one. So there you go. Let's see now. Let's do some more of the. Let's see if there's any questions before we get on.
There's quite a bit. I don't remember where we left off, but here's Steve,
Right,
and Kirkland.
Brad from Toronto.
Jordan's been active here.
Jeff, Southern California. 47 degrees and rain just stopped near Trenton. Yes, New Jersey. Well, that's what I think is going to happen here. It's going to warm up and it's all going to rain. Happier New Year for 22. Greetings from Low Country of South Carolina and the Hilton Head Computer Club. Jolyn Bowler. Yes. Thank you, Jolyn. Happy New Year. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Sylvia Anderson. Thank you for your advice on Galaxy Watch 4 for all fall detection. I bought it and now feel like Dick Tracy talking into a phone to send text. Isn't that pretty cool? Yeah, it's sure does a lot. Ooh, that's pretty. Yeah. And threefold. Yeah. See what happened. If they could make these for students, might help with educational issues of remote learning. Yeah, could be. Trifold phone will work well for map sticks. Yeah.
Okay, that's because we're used to folding maps.
Exactly. Getting the humming feeders going. Yeah. John says, glad I don't live in snow country anymore, but I would get one of those in a heartbeat. Well, in our area, we don't get, this is very unusual to get snow. So, I mean, I would never buy one of those because it isn't those people who have snow blowers. And it's interesting as you look down the road here, some homes have snow blowers, but all those people came from Alberta where it snows all the time, right? They're all implants. Anyone that lives in this area for a long time, very few people have, at least down here on the water, they don't have snow blowers. Different up on the mountain, but we don't usually get that.
Usually here, you wait till tomorrow and it'll be gone.
That's right. Yeah. Does
I
it
mean,
melt?
once in a while, we'll have for a couple of days in a row that we have snow, but usually a day or two and it's gone. So don't
Right.
bother going out and shoveling and getting a heart attack. Not worth it.
That's right. Yeah.
Or you could put heaters in your driveway and just turn it on and
Yeah.
they'll all melt.
Especially now with the price of propane.
Well, the only problem is Whistler. Do you know Whistler's a big ski resort just north of Vancouver? It's a big ski resort, and they have a lot of very expensive places and condos and stuff, and they have most people there that are very wealthy have heaters in their driveway. Well, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they often have brownouts because so many, all this power comes on, right? And everyone's got their heater in their driveways, and it's a big issue there because they get big time electrical problems.
So what's going to happen when everybody gets electrical cars and you got to charge them?
I have a neighbor with a plow, so that takes care of it for me.
There you go. I should take my truck, put some chains on it, and put a big thing on the front there, a blade, and go around and make some money. Nah, it's easier. It's easier just doing Tech for Senior live and sitting here in a warm studio.
Put it on the front of your electrical bike.
Yeah. I don't. I don't think that's going to happen. All right, I guess we should get to work. People probably came here to listen to us talk about some news articles rather than just sit and socialize. What do you think? Should we do some work?
Sounds good to me.
It's up to
Good
you.
idea.
All right. Let me share my screen. Let's see who snuck up. Let's see who's first on the list.
You were up. You were last on deck, as I saw.
All right. Let me just get this, and we'll just do. Who was first here? Bob, you rascal.
Yeah.
You rascal. How did you get first? All right. So we're going to practice, you guys. We're going to practice for our podcast next week. We're going to sort of have to announce the title before we touch so that people understand what we're talking about. Do you want to go ahead, Bob?
6 things we didn't know last year, and they had to do with things that happen in cybersecurity. I'm not going to give the whole thing away. I worked very hard to put that video together. If you want to know what those 6 things are, watch the video.
And how would we find that? And I know it's on our Facebook page, but yep. you have a web page, and you can go there and find all the videos, right?
You'll find it when you go to my YouTube. The link is on Tech for Senior.
Okay, that's right. And it's also in our newsletter as well. So very good. Okay. Well, I look forward to listening to that. Bob is going to do for our Monday show a big review of all the security foofahs of the year. So I'm looking forward to that. Thanks for doing that, Bob. It's a big project, and he did that, so it should be very interesting to look back on all the things that happened this past year, right? We'll be doing that on Monday. You got number 2 as well? What the heck, Bob?
Some of us work harder than others.
Work harder getting them in the last minute.
Gee whiz. All right. What's this one about?
This has to do with phone security, your smartphone. And most of us are just too lazy to secure our phone. That's where most of the problems come in. But it's important because most of us have more personal information on our phones than we have on our computers. So you can't neglect your phone, not if you value your information.
I was looking at a video the other day, just a couple of days ago, on my Fire Stick. Actually have a Fire Stick on my one TV, which is a Roku TV, so I can have everything connected to it. And I was looking at it. There's some things you can turn off on a Fire Stick, so that means you could on your Fire TV as well, to where some things aren't being tracked. So I'm sure this is true of any of the TVs. Any of the smart TVs, there's settings that you can go in and cut back on some of the things that they're tracking you on.
All right. Very interesting. Now, this was an article. Did you guys hear about this one?
Yep.
This is the article. It says Amazon Alexa told a 10-year-old to plug a charger into an electrical outlet. Now, what happened is that there's an app for children to find things to do, and a lot of times teachers use this app for kids, and or kindergarten teachers use this app, and it will sort of put interesting things and little projects for young kids to do, and it's a cool idea, right? Now, to the horror of one of the to the horror of one of the elementary, I can't remember who the kindergarten elementary school teachers was, this child was told to do a thing called bridging, and this came actually from TikTok. And what it is that you take a plug and you go to plug it into the socket, and you don't completely plug it in, and then you take a pen and you put it across the two.
Penny.
A penny.
And it shorts it out, right? And you get a spark and flames, and it probably trips the breaker. Well, that would be a horrible thing for a child to do. And of course, the reason I put this up was because it isn't Amazon that did this. It's the algorithm that was looking for cute things for kids to do, and they must have pulled that information off TikTok, and it got put into the regular into the regular things of kids to do. And so it was a bad, they needed to have caught that, but just to let parents know that this is something that you need to be aware of. And even though you can say to your kids, oh, just listen to this or whatever on your Amazon device, you probably should still have some supervision, because things like this could happen.
It's called parenting.
Yes.
It is. Yeah.
Novel idea.
Yeah. Did you guys see this article? Did you see this?
Yes, I did. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. I read
I
it
didn't
too.
read
Yeah.
it. I didn't read it.
Yeah, that was on the news, and I thought, oh my God, can you imagine a 3-year-old taking a plug and putting it into a wall, but not completely putting it in, and then putting something across? I mean, it would be really a bad situation. You get seriously injured. All right. Now, this is an article, of course, one of many this week about LastPass. And I put this on so that Bob, this is really a question for Bob.
Well, if you had looked, Ron, you would have seen that Bob posted this together with a comment a day earlier.
Oh, did he?
Well, so did and Huey did sometime either yesterday or today.
Yeah,
too.
we'll probably.
And I also did the follow-up article where it said that it really didn't need to go out. It was a mistake when they sent out the problem.
Well, let's just the article. Just a minute. Let me say. Hold on, you guys. The article says it's time to update your LastPass master password. So that was the title of the article, and of course, a lot of that comes to Bob will tell us all about what happened this week. But I guess the question I have is, how often should we update, or should we ever update our master password? Now, I just want your opinion. I mean, I've had mine for years, and because I can remember, it's a complicated password, but it's ingrained into my neurons in my brain, right? So I guess if I updated it and changed it, it's a pain in the butt. So do we need to update? So the question I have for Bob is, should we update our LastPass master password?
My comment was, even though this thing was not really something that you had to worry about because it didn't really happen, they weren't hacked, I still changed my master password. And you're right, it's a pain in the butt because not only do you have to change, you change the password, but it affects many things. And there are quite a few steps you have to go through. And then you have to tell your wife, hey, I changed that master password. So if something happens to me, here's the new one. Okay. So there are lots of things you have to think about when you make a change. But every once in a while, because hacks happen, it's a good idea to change that password.
One of the things that they said about this one was it actually came from a result of people using the same master password on other
Accounts.
devices or on other things. So it's always a good idea to have separate and different passwords for everything.
Right.
And that's why you need LastPass or something similar to it to keep track of all of them.
Bob, do you just want to explain to people, maybe there are people out there listening that don't understand what we're talking about as a master password?
If you're using a password manager, it remembers and fills in all your passwords for you. That's why it's easy to have a different password for everything that requires a password. The master password is to be able to access all of those passwords that your password manager is saving for you, because you can't get into that app unless you have that master password. So you can have many, many different passwords. Everything has a different password. As long as you remember the master password to get into the program or the app that is saving all those passwords for you. For
And
me, that's
please,
LastPass.
and please don't automatically have your master password in your system, that when you start your system that it opens up your LastPass with a password, because that defeats the whole purpose of it.
Very good. All right. Excellent. I am sure we're going to come along shortly with this article again. This is an article that I found. It was just, I think it was this morning that we saw, and the article says 5 things we want to see from wearables in 2022. And I'm not going to go through the whole article and talk about those things, but just in summary, we've talked about those, and that was part of my prediction. Is of course the usefulness of these devices, and one of the problems that you're finding now is that all these devices have different monitoring systems. They'll monitor your blood oxygen level. They might do your heart. They're doing all these different things, but none of them are really standard, and they all mean different things. So it can be very confusing on what all these devices do. And so one of the recommendations was to try and standardize something so that they're not all different, because it really is quite confusing. I have, as you know, I have the Fitbit Sense and I have the Galaxy 4 watch because I test both of them, and I'm soon going to get the Google one that's coming out. I'll buy that. So because I have them all 3 side by side and test them, and really it's very confusing. It really is, you guys. If you they're all different, and they all measure different things, and they all have different philosophies on how they test. So that's certainly one of the things. I do believe that we will be seeing a blood sugar reading on the Apple Watch this year. I think the next version will come out for sure. But this is an interesting article. I'm not going to go through all the things in there, but it is interesting. LastPass says no passwords were okay. Bob, do you want to fill us in on this? This is it says LastPass says no passwords were compromised following a breach. There was a breach this week, or a supposed
No,
breach.
there was a breach scare. There was no breach.
Okay. So we're okay with LastPass. We don't have to do anything.
Yeah, we went through that already.
Okay. Okay. So I had to put this. We don't talk a lot about gaming on at Tech for Senior or with seniors. We just don't we don't do that. But you know, when you think of gaming, and I think of gaming, it's always shoot 'em up, killing people, and all sorts of stuff like that. This is interesting. This is the farming simulator, and the title of the article was "Farming Simulator 22 outsells top tier games in Europe." So it is very interesting that if you want to go farming, that's a good one for you. The next one was an article that came out today. It's the title of the article. I put this one up there. Apple ditched Intel and it paid off. And so this year, of course, we have seen a very successful the M1 chip that is Apple now makes, and it's put into a number of their products, and it's been very well. It's worked well. It works fast. Apple has had a huge success with this M1, soon to be M2 chip, as we've gone through the year. And I think this is one of the stories, and that was. And I guess we'll see Google now is making their own chip. We see that in their new watch, in their new phone. Bob, you've got the new Pixel phone, don't you like it?
Yes, I do.
I think I asked you this before. What's the one, if you had to choose one thing in that phone that you really like that made it so much different, what would you choose?
Yeah, the camera.
The camera. That's the big
Amazing. It's a phone, but what we like most is the camera.
Is the camera. Okay. All right. That's good. And as we come down, this was the article that this was the video that I showed you. This said Microsoft patent details 3-screen Surface smartphone concept. And that was the video that I played you today. And I thought that was an interesting one. Huey, do you want to take this one?
This article has a whole bunch of
Can you read the title of the article? Can you read the title?
Worldwide and U.S. download leaders. And one of the amazing things was that in worldwide, Amazon is 4th in online sales. There are actually 3 companies ahead of it. And in the U.S., Amazon is number 1, but the second one is I can't remember the name of it now. It is it's a woman's clothing service. So Amazon isn't the only place people go to buy things anymore.
Really? Yeah, surprise, surprise.
And the article it had a link to another article, which I don't know whether I posted or not, or maybe it was this. This was the one, but it lists several other leaders and which games are the most downloaded, and it does it worldwide, and then it does with the local, or I'm sorry, for the U.S. because some of you aren't here on here, as some of you are in Canada, but it is the U.S. But it's amazing that some of the things that are people are downloading and using, and some of the services that are out there I never heard of before worldwide are number 1 and 2 and 3. And it's an interesting article to look over.
Thank you so much. Oh, do we have any more comments you want to put up before we move to the next article?
Go ahead. Oh, let's see. Steve talked about the snowblower. That was from earlier. And then Tom, does any of you have a radio or TV in the background?
I think that's you, Huey.
Yeah, probably. There's some talk. We closed the door. It should be a little bit better. And is that in that gaming article?
Is this in the gaming article?
No.
I'm not sure.
Let's go to the next. Yep.
That's it? Okay. All right. We'll come down.
And I'm probably there too.
Ray, take her away.
All right. This is the most popular websites 20 years ago. And there's many listed in this article worth reading. I'm going to just highlight the 3 or 4 that I thought popped out at me. Who remembers MySpace? That was actually before Facebook, and that was going to be that kind. And then it lost out. MySpace is still around and has now really devoted itself to a music platform. So young aspiring musical artists post their videos on MySpace, and that's really what it's geared to. Another, of course, we all remember AOL. You've Got Mail. And that still continues. I'm always surprised when I see somebody's email address and it's still at AOL.com, but there's still an AOL homepage.
How many of us call that AOL?
Here's one I used to use: Ask Jeeves.
Yep.
Jeeves was
really?
and Ask Jeeves. This was before Siri, certainly before Miss A. And it's still around. Today, the name has been shortened to just ask.com, but it still does what it did before. And last but not least, and I didn't even know this about MSN Messenger, that was one of the first instant messenger programs, and it's actually been shut down since 2014. So It's a fun article to read, and you see how many of these names bring back memories.
And then there was the search engine before Google, Alta Vista.
That's going back to the 90s now.
Yep.
That's a blast from the past, Ray.
Yeah, oldies but goodies, a new definition term for oldies but goodies.
That'd be pretty. That'd be a great. That'd probably be a great video for our Monday show, to play. To go back over the last 20 sites. That'd be sort of cool. That might be interesting.
And use the website that I demonstrated in one of my special reports on Tech for Senior on archive.com.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Anyway, that's good. All right. Huey, don't forget to read the article.
5G and flying, what you should know about possible disruption. On several podcasts that I listen to, they've been talking about this. On January 5th, a new spectrum of 5G is going to open up for AT&T and Verizon, and the airports and air traffic controllers are saying it's going to interfere with airplanes landing using instrument landings, and the industry is saying no, there's no problem with it. The FCC says there's no problem with it. They say there is, and it's January 5th, so it's another week. We'll know whether there's a problem or not. I hope I'm not on one of those planes to find out.
So Dewey Cluse, of course, and who's our contributor on Mondays on our Tech for Senior, talked about this the last week, and so there is a video out about it. If you look on our website, look on our YouTube channel about Dewey talking about this particular issue. I guess my only thought is that's weird is that of course 5G in Asia and China has been around for a lot longer than it has been in North America, and they fly a lot of airplanes and are now actually working on their 6G sort of technology, and they don't have any problems. So I don't know if they're using a different frequency. They're still flying Boeing planes. So what I don't know why this is a problem in North America, but it hasn't been in other parts of the world. I don't get that.
We happen to like to stick to old stuff. We don't like to update. We don't like to back up. We don't like to change passwords. Yeah. Can I go on, or should I just stop?
No, Bob, you made your point. And
the airplanes are using a spectrum or a frequency that's been in use for a long time.
Yeah.
And this was where they're warning about it. So between the two articles, you can get a pretty good idea of what's going on with it. Okay. This one's U.S. Airlines warned 5G could wreak havoc with flights, and this is a new frequency that they haven't used before, and they're saying if you've got this near an airport, it could cause problems.
All right. free up Google Photos with. I brought this. I posted this article because this week, when I was taking some pictures and using my phone for a video, it ran out of memory space, and I just wanted to remind everyone that that Google Photos does have a tool in there that will free up your space for all the pictures you take or videos, particularly if you're taking videos. And once they're safely uploaded into Google Photos, then it will clean up your phone. And in my case, added quite a significant amount. You know, I was doing a lot of video work this week, and the files tend to be larger, and so it quickly fills up the hard drive. So you need to do that. But there is, and I'm not going to go into it. You can look at the article, but this is using the feature in Google Photos to free up space on your hard drive. Oh, this was interesting. Now,
read the article name.
I will. It's how to FaceTime on your Android phone. So this is really very, very interesting, and a change. And Michael Daniels talked about this on his show the other day, and I think this is really big time news. So I wanted just to talk about it for a moment and let everyone know. As you know, FaceTime, of course, is used on Apple devices. In fact, I've told you the story about my two daughters ganging up on me and making me buy an iPad. They said, "Dad, we don't want to talk. We only want to use FaceTime." They're all Apple people, right? And so you can only use FaceTime on a Apple device. You know, Apple has said no way, you can't use it on any other services. And now there are like Duo, for example, that's made by Google, will work on all devices. So you could just use Duo, but no, Apple people want to use FaceTime. And so I capitulated, bought an iPad, and of course we talk back and forth. Actually, we use the Facebook portal now. We don't use the iPad. So, but coming back to it is that changes recently allow you on an Android device to connect to FaceTime. Now, it's not quite as simple as you might think. What happens is when you create a call on FaceTime, so if Huey was going to call Bob on FaceTime, so Huey had FaceTime and was going to call Bob, and Bob had Android. In the call, Huey would create a link, and then he would email Bob the link, and then when Bob clicked the link, it would put him into the call. Bob doesn't have an Apple device. He can't. But the link, you can produce a link, and then anybody with that link can come into the call. Do you understand that? Does that make sense? Did I make that clear, or is it clear as mud?
It's clear. You still can't.
Yeah.
Physically, you still can't use FaceTime if you're on an Android device. I can't initiate a FaceTime call on my Android device. I can only be invited into a FaceTime call.
That's right. But that is a big deal in my case, with both my daughters, using all Apple devices. Instead of having me buy an iPad, they could just, whenever they call, just send the link, and then you just click the link, and then you're on a FaceTime call. So it is a big deal. I think it is a big deal, and it is a recent change, which I think is quite newsworthy for those people who have, we call them mixed families or whatever,
In our mixed family, we all use Duo because it works on all devices.
Right. That's for sure. But I wanted just to let everyone know, I thought that was interesting, and it was, I think that's a big issue. Now you all know, do you guys know about the rings? I don't know if you saw this article. For all those listening, Jim, yeah, Jim Gould, as you know from Geeks on Tour, Jim has a ring, and the ring, of course, monitors all the things the watch does. And this is the new one of the new rings that are coming out. So as we always think about watches as monitoring health issues, but we don't have to have watches. We can simply use it with rings, and we can use rings to monitor this as well. And this was an interesting article, and this is one of the new ones that are coming out at CES. And I guess if we want to pay $150, like Mike was saying, we can go to CES virtually, and I guess that we could go to the booth there and have a look at it. But anyway,
That's the Movano ring.
Yeah.
And it includes blood pressure and glucose and I guess some other things. So it does say glucose in the article.
Yeah.
So we might be able to get glucose readings from a ring before we do from a watch.
Could be. It's the same technology, so why not? I have spent, so this article is on how to upgrade your YouTube recording setup. And actually, I'm going to do a video on this. This is one of my projects for our Monday show. You can look at this article, but I've spent a lot of time this week looking at different cameras and looking at different options to up the quality. And so there's some interesting things that you can do. So this is a good article if you have if you want to up your game in recording. Then this is interesting. Huey, go ahead.
Do you have COVID-19, flu, or cold? How to tell the difference? And this was a test that was done, or the article actually came from this area, came out of Sarasota, and kind of describes, because the same problems that you have, fever or chills and so on, all of these things are very similar between COVID, flu, and just a plain old cold. And how do you tell the difference? And
especially with Omicron, the newest version or newest variant.
This is an interesting article that kind of helps you decide which one you have. But the biggest thing in the article says that if you've got the beginnings of something that could be COVID, get it tested quickly. Quickly is the operative portion of checking yourself.
All right, good news. Thank you. And Bob, you
that's that same article.
Same article. Do you want to? You don't want to talk about that?
Pass it. We covered it.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about that one, Bob?
Well, Apple Watch Series 7 is $30 cheaper than it was on Black Friday. So if you're thinking of getting an Apple 7 watch, good time to buy it.
Now, am I correct?
You're probably going to be pretty mad because if you bought it on Black Friday, you were supposed to get a bargain. So maybe you didn't.
Am I correct in assuming that in order to use an Apple Watch, you do have to have an Apple iPhone?
Correct.
Yes.
Yep. It's a good assumption. That would be a correct assumption, Huey. Yeah, for sure.
That's cool.
Now that just to let you know that the Fitbit Sense, of course, can be used on an app with an Apple Watch. That's not a problem. The Galaxy Watch 4 can only be used on an Android device, and particularly a Galaxy phone where it works the best with. Ray, do you want to talk on this one?
All right, it's called the CTA, and that's the Consumer Technology Association, and they're the folks that actually organize and run the CES every January. And they've come out and said, well, all these companies that are dropping out is not really because of the issues with the
COVID
and the different variants. It's because there's a chip shortage, and these companies can't showcase their new products. I do not buy that. I think it's a combination of both, but it's mostly due to COVID-19 and the variants. But I thought it was interesting that they come out and that's the reason they're saying companies are dropping out.
All right. Interesting. So they're still going ahead, though, I understand, with CES.
Yes, and there's a lot of smaller companies are definitely sending people in there. And as we talked before, it'll be hybrid this year. Last year it was strictly virtual, and in the past it's always been, of course, in person. So this will be like a hybrid. And if you want to attend virtually, as it was pointed out earlier this morning, it'll cost you $150.
Okay. Huey, do we have any more comments, or what's happening over on the comment section? Anything else we need to put up?
No, just this one from earlier. Just some of us were geeks in the 90s too before laughing out loud.
I think all of us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, this is tech for senior. We're all old, right?
Some of us older than others.
Yeah. Oh, Ray.
Okay, this is called Roku expands its TV Ready program. So Roku, I think, is really a leader in this field. They've come out with, it's called Roku TV Ready, and it simplifies the connecting of your audio products, no matter what brand they are, with the Roku TV. So when you have this, all you really basically do is plug in sound bars or other, like a receiver even, and it'll match them up automatically. So this is really good for those folks who are less tech savvy and in trying to figure out everything. It'll do it automatically. All you got to do is plug in the right connectors.
And if you have a Roku TV, you can even use your Miss A devices as speakers. They actually have some pretty good speakers, and you can use, one on each side, and you can wind up just using what you've already got.
Yeah, what comes with the Ready TV there is its own remote control, and then with that remote control, you can change the channels, you can adjust the volume, anything that you need to do with the setup.
Yeah, that sound bar that's underneath the TV. When you go to buy a sound bar, number one is check to see where you're going to put it beforehand, because some of the TVs have the legs on either side, and some have a leg just in the center. If you have one in the center, there may not be room for you to put that, or you're going to have to figure out a way to hang it on whatever you need to put it on. So if your TV's on the table, if it's on the wall, then you need to have a place somewhere underneath it where you can put that sound bar. Now, why would you need a sound bar? Well, a lot of the TVs, the speakers come out the back. If you've got it against the wall, you're not going to be able to hear it very well, and certainly the quality is not very good. And so
let's face it, going to say that the TV speakers are all pretty tiny speakers, and you don't really have in the action movies and movies like that your room enveloped in sound. That's the way to go. I have a 7.1 set up in my living room, so I can hear everything.
If you realize this is a flat screen TV, it pretty much tells you there's no room for nice speakers.
No, but even if you got it against the wall and the speaker is coming out, the speaker is in the back, you're not going to hear it very well.
Right.
So what you really need to do is check the TV before you buy it, where the speaker is and what problems you might have, and then you may need a sound bar or you need speakers on the side.
So, Ray, I got to tell you my story. I just bought a sound bar. Actually, I bought 2 sound bars.
Okay.
And the first one I bought was made by a company called Hisense. I did a lot of reviews, looked at a lot of sound bars, and did listened to 100 YouTube videos, right? And I made my decision and ordered it through Amazon. Now, for a wide variety of reasons, which I won't go into, it never did get delivered. And in fact, I ordered it a second time that never got delivered, right? So I went to Best Buy and I bought one from it was 3 times the amount, but basically the same thing. And it was by JBL. And so it was, this was a soundbar. Yeah. So this is the soundbar I brought home and hooked it up. Well, I'll be darned if, guess what showed up? The Hisense, right? Because the Hisense because the JBL was 3 times the price. I was going to take it back and use the Hisense, and that's what I ultimately did. But here's the deal: one of the things that you have to be careful if you are buying a soundbar, and Ray, you probably know this, is make sure that it has a it makes sure that you have an HDMI port in the back and you connect it to the audio return channel in your TV. Because when you plug it into when you plug it into the ARC, it immediately makes your control on your TV. It all synchronizes and works great. Okay. Now, you don't want to connect it through the fiber. What is it? The optical cable, because so I was careful in this in choosing my soundbar, right? Now, here's the deal. So and this comes back to Ray's article, okay? Because the Hisense one was just produced, right? The JBL had been around for a while. So the JBL did the old things. It sort of hooked up and it was sort of okay. But with the Hisense, it did, since I have a TCL TV, it did exactly what you said, Ray. All of a sudden, as soon as I hooked it up and turned the TV on, there was like this cineramic, it blew up like that. There was this beautiful video on the TV. There was sounds coming in from all over the place. It was like, oh wow, what the heck happened here? This was crazy. And it showed off all the sound bar, and it showed all the sound and how it worked. It was pretty cool, you know. It was really, really sort of neat, and nothing like the other one. So it's pretty cool. You're right. You know, the new way they're hooking these up is amazing. Jeff says, I use headphones after my wife goes to bed, and the things you can hear. Yeah, it is indeed. It is indeed.
I do the same.
Yeah. So anyway, so just let you know, I just hooked it up yesterday. Took the other one back to Best Buy and made some money on that. All right, but yes, indeed, I think that's a good article, Ray.
Thank you.
Oh, you know what? We only have 3 minutes left.
Yes, time is flying. Having a good time.
What the heck happened to the hour? Huey, do we have any more comments?
No, that was it.
All right. Just a couple of more articles here. This was I'm not going to go into this, but this was an interesting. Do you guys see this article? All the unnecessary things Microsoft added to Edge in 2021. Did you read that one?
That's how you make a browser different from other browsers. You add things like discounts on shopping and all games and crap that doesn't have to be in a browser.
Yeah, but their best feature is the immersive reader. I use that all the time.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
that's a great feature.
Yeah, but that's a feature. All the other things are garbage added on that just take resources. And most of us already have things like Honey that make sure that you get the best deal. You know, you don't have to add it into your browser.
Huey, you get the last word.
This is live tracking the James Webb Space Telescope, where it is, and if you click on that, it will take you, and it's continuous. It's been live for, I think today is day 5, might be day 6. It was yesterday, so today's day 5, and it shows you the countdown and the count up and where it's going and so on, and it's live and it's just continuing. It's so it's a nice thing to take a look at every once in a while to see where that telescope is in our universe and how it's going out of our universe.
I'd rather see what it's actually looking at instead of seeing where it is. But that you don't get to see
someday.
Yep.
It'll take a while. It'll take a while for it to get back to us once it starts. It starts sending pictures as well. It's still traveling.
All right. We have done the show. Thank you for coming, and thank you all for listening. Thank you so much. Remember, next week, if you missed the show, you can either see it. You can see it either, of course, on YouTube or Facebook or a podcast. So we should be. That will be. I'm sort of excited about that to see how all that works. Bob's helping us along with this. Bob's been podcasting for years. He's a experienced podcaster. So. Anyway, thanks for your help, and thanks everyone for listening. Don't forget Tech for Senior on Monday. We'll be doing we have a great show for you on Monday, and we'll be sending the agenda out in our Saturday newsletter, of course. So make sure you all listen and watch for our newsletter. You'll see the agenda. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do as my promo for this week, but it will probably be something in the snow. I haven't quite figured that one out yet, but I think it's going to be something in the snow. Maybe I'll be standing under my roof as the snow slides off the roof and it comes down on top of me.
I'd pay to see that.
Yeah,
I would
You could dress up like a snowman.
Yeah, so I haven't decided yet.
Or build a snowman.
Yeah,
build a snowman and have the sound come through it, so it looks like it's talking and it's you. And it will be next year on Monday.
Yes, it will. 2022. Yeah.
So a happy New Year
happy
to
New
everybody.
Year.
Everyone.
Yep.
Indeed. So happy New Year, and we will see everybody back next Thursday, same time, same place.
And happy New Year to all of you as well, to our crew.
Yeah.
And from our crew.
Correct.
To and from.
There you go. Thanks a lot for coming.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.